Good afternoon, good morning. This is Tech for Senior for May 6th, 2024. And hang on one second. There we go, so you can see me. I'm Hewie Poplock, and I'm going to be your host today. Ron is here, but he's my co-host. We do this the first show of every month to give Ron a little break and to make sure that I'm prepared, so if Ron can't be here, that we can just go ahead and still hold the show without saying, Ron's not here, what do we do? So it's a 1-hour show about technology with Q&A at the end. We're glad you're here. Today we're going to be talking about security as our beginning feature each week with Bob. And then Bob's going to do something called Zoom clips. And I think you're going to all be interested in that. And then Chris will be here with Fun with Photos, and she's going to do video editing with Clipchamp, another Windows program that I think you're all should be aware and know how to use. So she's going to talk about that. And then I'm going to talk about a program called LocalSend, which you use to transfer files on your own network. And then I'm also going to talk about AI safety, the new U.S. federal guidelines explained. And then we'll wrap it up with Ray's music and then the Q&A. So don't forget, we have the premiere as well, and Ron will put in the link to the premiere, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But let's say hello to all of our staff here. Ron, nice to see you here. And in my position as co-host, while I'm in yours. So I'm going to thank you. You did it for me. Go ahead,
hello.
Ron.
There you go. Thank you.
What's going on with you?
Nothing. I had a nice relaxing weekend.
Well, that's good. Well,
I got to watch my second favorite show, Geeks on Tour on Sunday. Next to yours, Hewie.
Oh, okay. Well, they're equal in our books, right? They're not the favored or unfavored. So, Bob G, you're here. You've been playing with some fun things, and you're going to talk about one of them today.
Yeah, I like to explore new things. And right now, AI has kind of got me by the whatever. And I'm trying some new stuff with AI. And we'll see how and where that leads.
Yeah, I've been playing with a lot of it too, and I've come up with all kinds of ideas, and then I forget which tool I used to do something. So I've got to somehow put that all in some kind of an order. Ray, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. When we were chatting a little bit before we went on the air, I mentioned that I was down in the Phoenix Central area on Saturday with one of my music groups. And I decided, let me do a speed test on my new T-Mobile phone, because I know they have obviously 5G in a big city like Phoenix. What I was really surprised was my download speed was over 1 gig on my phone. Just blew me away.
That's unreal. Bill James, how are you today? You're muted. Bill, you're muted.
Yeah, I was talking to Carl. I said, I did find that setting. It says under taskbars, it says show my taskbar on all displays. But otherwise, we're doing fine. The weather is something of a concern, but we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, here in Florida, the weather is the fact that we're not getting any rain. And I saw Sarasota County has got a non-burn decree, and we'll probably get it here in Manatee County as well. We're dry as a bone. All right, Chris from Geeks on Tour, along with Jim. What's going on in your world?
Well, we're getting ready to go across to your side of the state and do a in-person live presentation.
Sun City Central.
The Sun City Center. Yeah, computer club.
Yeah, I do theirs live too. That's a great club.
Yeah. And so we're going to make we booked 2 nights at a state park.
Mm-hmm. We'll be camping for a couple of days. And then next week, we'll be going to the British Virgin Islands scuba diving for a week on board a boat.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Oh, it is.
Yep.
And we'll share a photo album. So
I
It'll
hope
be
so. Oh, that will be unique. I just want to remind you that this is Tech for Seniors, or Tech for Senior, depending upon where you're signing in and how you're signing in, and what you're looking for. But we're in our 5th year, and don't forget our website at www.techforsenior, no S on it.com. And then don't forget the Tech for Senior live on Thursdays. It's a different kind of a show, and it's not on Zoom. It uses StreamYard, and we have it on Facebook and on YouTube. And so you go to our channels for that. This Sunday is the Windows SIG, May 12th. And then my Let's Talk AI is on the 4th Friday, which will be May 24th. And it is open to all of you. You just have to contact me and I will put you on the list. And when I send out the link, you'll get a reminder and the link. Premiere video today. I don't know that Ron's put it in the chat or not, but we're going to be talking about tools to write your life story. And that's by Carol Baxter. Carol, Ray may know her. He's married to her. And we also have Windows and Mac OS Bridging the Gap with Bill James, and then No Privacy and Electronics Repair Shop with Ron. So those will be the 3 programs that will be featured in the premiere video today on the next half hour, I should say, of the next hour. Let's see what else we got going on. We got a full schedule for today. And I think we're about ready to start.
Don't forget about our newsletter and the sponsors that we have.
Oh yeah,
Good enough to,
absolutely.
yep.
The Ron, would you remind them?
Yes, I'd like to remind them. That's a good one because, of course, you can find the whole itinerary of our schedule today in the Saturday newsletter, along with the links to the premier educational video, which you'll be seeing today, which you just mentioned. All is in our Saturday newsletter. And that is due to 3 great sponsors: the Glendora Seniors Computer Club, there's Geeks on Tour, and the Central Florida Computer Society. All those 3 sponsors make our Saturday newsletter possible. So we'd like to thank you so much for sponsoring us, and please support those groups.
We
Yes, and don't forget-
we also have the same sponsors for our Tuesday
Correct.
newsletter,
That's
which
right.
some of us work very hard on.
That's
Yes, they're great, and they're great articles every week. And so it's twice a week that you get that. Make sure you sign up and read it
Mhm.
when you do get it. All right, Bob, are you ready to get started for the day?
I sure am. So let's get going with the Security News Roundup. Here is my weekly Security News Roundup for the week ending May 3rd, 2024. U.S. government releases new AI security guidelines for critical infrastructure. The U.S. government has unveiled new security guidelines aimed at bolstering critical infrastructure against artificial intelligence-related threats. These guidelines are informed by the whole of government effort to assess AI risks across all 16 critical infrastructure sectors and address threats both to and from an evolving AI system. The Department of Homeland Security said Monday. In addition, the agency said it's working to facilitate safe, responsible, and trustworthy use of the technology in a manner that does not infringe on individuals' privacy, rights, civil rights, and civil liberties. Read more at thehackernews.com. New UK law bans default passwords on smart devices starting April 2024. The UK National Cybersecurity Centre is calling on manufacturers of smart devices to comply with new legislation that prohibits them from using default passwords effective April 29th, 2024. The law, known as the Product Security and Telecommunications Infrastructure Act, will help consumers to choose smart devices that have been designed to provide ongoing protection against cyber attacks, the NCSC said. To that end, manufacturers are required to not supply devices that use guessable default passwords, provide a point of contact to report security issues, and state the duration for which their devices are expected to receive important security updates. Read more at ℙ𝕝𝕝𝕗 New R programming vulnerability exposes projects to supply chain attacks. The flaw assigned the CVE identifier CVE 2024-27322 with a CVSS score of 8.8 involves the use of promise objects and lazy evaluation in R. AI application security company ℕ𝕝𝕝𝕗 said in a report shared with the Hacker News. RDS, like pickle in Python, is a format used to serialize and save the state of data structures or objects in R, an open source programming language used in statistical computing, data visualization, and machine learning. The security defect has been addressed in version 4.4.0, released on April 24th, 2024, following responsible disclosure. If this affects you, make sure you've updated to be safe. Read more at thehackernews.com. It's official. The FCC brought back net neutrality. Policymakers at the Federal Communications Commission voted along party lines Thursday to reinstate net neutrality principles, which mandate that internet service providers can't interfere with how online content is transmitted. The 3-2 vote restores what's known as Title II classification for ISPs, which gives the agency more oversight authority under the Communications Act to investigate possible consumer abuses, network outages, and other service interruptions. The campaign to restore net neutrality has long been a hallmark of liberal administrations, and congressional Democrats publicly threw their weight behind the policy change ahead of the vote, as TechBrew previously reported. Read more at emergingtechbrew.com. FCC just fined major carriers $200 million for selling customer location data. The Federal Communication Commission has taken decisive action against AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, and T-Mobile, fining them nearly $200 million for illegally selling customer location data without proper consent. This marks the culmination of a long-running investigation that highlights the carriers' disregard for privacy and accountability. The FCC probe revealed a disturbing system where carriers initially sold location data to aggregators. These aggregators then resold the data to numerous third parties, including bounty hunters, credit card companies, and law enforcement. The carriers were essentially absolving themselves of responsibility by claiming it was up to the third parties to obtain consumer consent, a loophole that often resulted in no one asking for consumer permission at all. Read more at androidauthority.com. Dropbox discloses breach of digital signature service affecting all users. Cloud storage service provider Dropbox on Wednesday disclosed that Dropbox Sign, formerly HelloSign, was breached by unidentified threat actors who accessed emails, usernames, and general account settings associated with all users of the digital signature product. The company, in a filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, said it became aware of the unauthorized access on April 24th, 2024. Dropbox announced its plans to acquire HelloSign in January 2019. The threat actor had accessed data related to all users of Dropbox Sign, such as emails and usernames, in addition to general accounting settings, it said in the Form 8K filing. Read more at thehackernews.com. United Healthcare CEO says maybe a third of U.S. citizens were affected by recent hack. Last month, Andrew Whitty, the CEO of Change Healthcare's parent company, United Health Group, said that the stolen files include the personal health information of a substantial proportion of people in America. On Wednesday, during a House hearing, when pushed to give a more definitive answer, Whitty testified that the breach impacted, I think, maybe a third of Americans, or somewhere of that level. During a hearing in the Senate earlier on Wednesday, Whitty said that it will likely take several months before the company can begin notifying victims of the data breach. Read more at TechCrunch.com. Microsoft bans U.S. police departments from using enterprise AI tools for facial recognition. The changes in policy come a week after Axon, a maker of tech and weapons products for military and law enforcement, announced a new product that leverages OpenAI's GPT-4 generative text model to summarize audio from body cameras. Critics were quick to point out the potential pitfalls like hallucinations. Even the best generative AI models today invent facts, and racial biases introduced from the training data, which is especially concerning given the people of color are far more likely to be stopped by police than their white peers. Sounds like Microsoft is afraid of a lawsuit. The ban applies only to facial recognition in the U.S. It is not a blanket ban on police departments' use of service. Read more at TechCrunch.com. This week's must-see on my YouTube channel. Net neutrality's return is a complex issue with far-reaching consequences. While it may create a more level playing field for online businesses and a smoother browsing experience for you, it also raises questions about investment and innovation. Please watch my video on that topic by following the link listed. Did you know about 1 of 8 married couples actually met each other on the internet? When my wife and I got married, there was no internet. There are now more people with smartphones in the world than working toilets. The U.S. flag placed on the moon by Apollo astronauts was purchased at Sears. Just thought you might want to know. Knowing what you cannot do is more important than knowing what you can do. Thanks to Lucille Ball. And that's a wrap for this week's Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye, and thanks for watching and listening.
And thanks, Bob. While you queue up your next video, I just want to say we plug one hole in the dam and another 2 or 3 open up. It's just amazing. Did we lose Bob?
No, you didn't lose me.
Okay.
Let's go on with exploring Zoom's Clips feature. Checking out the controls and options in Zoom's Clips. Let's start by opening up Zoom, which is now called Zoom Workplace. Let's select Clips. It starts by showing the clips that you've already recorded. And clips are just videos created within Zoom. When you start a new clip, there are some options. Under Screen Share and Video, you can either have the default layout, which is the screen and yourself, or your camera recording you. You don't have to have the camera on at all. Just record a portion of the screen. Or you can just record yourself. Those are the options. I'll be using the first one, the default. And you can move this around. So any place you want. You can also, by selecting a corner, make this bigger. That's as small as it gets, but you can make this pretty much any size you please. Apologies, the picture gets better if you have proper lighting. Next, you have the selection of your microphone. The down arrow will show you all of the options available. It can be none, meaning no microphone, or if you have more than one choice, they all appear here and you make your selection. You'll notice mine is set to crisp. I use a program called Crisp to filter out background noises. Basically, my microphone is this one, but this is the microphone that I have selected in Crisp, which cuts out the background noise. Next is a selection of which camera do you want to use. It goes all the way from none, and then if you have more than one camera, they'll all show up in this selection box. Right now, the one you're looking at is ℕ𝕝𝕗. I also have one other one that's hooked up, CCHD. If I select it, you'll see there's a change. That camera faces a different direction. But the one that I intend to use for this is my ℕ𝕝𝕗 2K. And you have a selection of the size of video you're going to create. It can be either 1080p or 720p. Smaller, using less resources, and a smaller MP4 file when it finishes. I'll leave mine at 1080p. There are some other choices under advanced settings. Virtual background and avatar. Let's take a look. You'll see what I have now, but I can choose any of the items that are on here, starting with none, which just shows the camera and what it picks up as my background. And then I can pick anything I want of the ones that are here, or I can actually add something new for the background by using managing backgrounds. I can also mirror my background, which means it reverses right to left or left to right, depending on how you have it set. And let's go back to the one I originally had. You also have avatars. If you prefer not to be seen on screen as yourself, there are some avatars that you can pick, and you can make those your background. So now you have me as an avatar. There are several choices. Once you've made all of those selections, you have another choice: virtual background and avatar, layout and wallpaper, touch up your effects, adjust for low lights, touch up my appearance, and that will change what I look like depending on the slider. Let's just leave it where it originally was. Under layout and wallpaper, again, I can be just here. I can appear next to the part that I record. I can be to the right side of it. I can be above it, or I can be below it. There's also some other choices for backgrounds. Or you can select none. This has built-in noise suppression. Stereo audio, let's turn that one on. Give you a stereo effect in the audio. One other setting is immersive mode. And when you turn that on, you'll see that you now only see me, nothing else. Let's leave this one on for the rest of the demonstration. And now that I've made all the changes that I intend to make, and as you can see, there are many, many changes available in clips. And this is before you actually get started creating a clip. You also have one more thing to decide, and that's what are you going to use in clips? What do you want it to record? One more setting change that I make, since I use Crisp to control my background noise and the noise filtration, it is not necessary for me to also have Zoom use noise suppression. So I turn this off. This is normally on by default. As far as what you share on your screen, when you get ready to say start recording, before you do this, remember you've opened up your Zoom desktop app. That's what you're looking at in the background. I selected clips because that's what I'll be using, but this background window is still there. So you can close that window because you don't need it. Before you start your recording, you'll notice here that it says screen is what's selected. However, when you click on that screen, which is the default, you have options of other things that you have running in the background. In this case, it is the Security News Roundup. That's what I want. Next, hit the select button, and now I can start my recording. Take the image that you have, put it where you'd like to have it when the recording starts. So we take this and put it where we want. We can make it the size we want. Now we can start the recorder, and once I start, I'll start doing the narration. Here is my Security News Roundup for the week ending April 19th, 2024. Now I can pause it. I could then advance my slide. I can readjust this so it's where I want it to be and the size that I want it to be. Remember, the only thing it shows in the final recording is just myself. So put it where you want it. Once you're ready, resume. Palo Alto Networks released urgent fix for exploited Pan OS vulnerability. I've again paused it, but that's how you use clips. It's done in stages. Now, the only time I get away from clips, because in clips I can select exactly what I want recorded, whether it's a part of the screen, a specific app, or the entire screen. That's entirely up to me. And I can do lots of things within it, but to do the final editing, I still depend on ScreenPal because it makes editing extremely easy. For now, let's cut this thing off. I think you've seen enough of all of the different tools that are available in clips, and the best way to learn how to use it is to start using it. In clips, what your camera records, the position of where it's displayed, is pretty much predetermined by the selection you make at the beginning in your clips settings. The only reason you see it here as being able to be moved to wherever I wanted is because I was using ScreenPal to do the actual recording. If you're using clips, you have the predetermined positions of the camera as I showed in the settings. Next, I'll show you a very small clip recorded directly within clips that shows you exactly what I'm talking about as far as the position of the camera. Here is my Security News Roundup for the week ending April 19th, 2024. Palo Alto Networks releases urgent fixes for exploited Pan OS vulnerabilities. As you can see, I selected camera above, and that's exactly what I got. There was no way to move that recorded image to any place else other than that preset setting. This is something that hopefully will still change. Enjoy. Stay safe, stay secure. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching and listening.
Great, Bob. Thank you so much. Interesting way to use Zoom with clips. Okay, excuse me. Chris Gould,
Hey,
fun with photos. Go ahead.
yeah. Okay, this is prompted by a question that came from this group quite a while ago. Somebody asked, how do they take their pictures and make a nice little slideshow with music and transitions and stuff like that? Clipchamp. And
have you heard
we'll
about
start it here.
Clipchamp? Clipchamp is a quick and easy video editor. It's by Microsoft. If you have Windows 11, it may already be installed. If not, you can install it, or you can use it straight from the web. It is a full-featured video editor. There is a lot in this. First, I want to show you just how to use a very basic tool with a piece of video. Then I'm going to put together a whole little slideshow with music from some photos and video clips that I get from my Google Photos. Let's get started. What you're seeing on the screen right here is the clipchamp.com website. I already have the app installed on my Windows 11 machine, so I'm going to use that. So I will search for Clipchamp, and you should log in with your Microsoft account, because this is by Microsoft and it's going to save your work, and create a new video. A lot of people ask me, how do you cut out a piece of video from the middle? I mean, right in Google Photos, you can trim the beginning or the end. Here is how you use Clipchamp to cut out something in the middle. First, you need to get some media. You need to get a video file. These are your options. If you're on a Windows machine, generally, you're going to get clips from your computer. Here's the one I want to use. It's a minute long, and so over here is where all of your media, your photos and video clips will show up. There's a menu at the far left. There is the workspace in the middle here, and at the bottom is your timeline. So to put a piece of photo or video onto your timeline, there's two ways. You can either drag it down, or you can click the plus and it will get put onto your timeline at the current position of the playhead. So this is a video of a train. And in the middle here, it goes through a tunnel. And I see no reason to have even just a few seconds of black video. So I want to erase that part of the video. I want to cut it out of the middle. So I think that part is okay. So right here at the end of what I want to cut out, I position the playhead and I click the scissors. Now I position the playhead back at the beginning of where the tunnel starts and I click the scissors. Then this piece I want to get rid of. I just click it. Notice how it turns green. You know, I click that one, or I click that one, and I'm just going to press the delete key on my keyboard, and it's gone. But there's this blank spot. Well, when I hover over that blank spot, notice that there is a trash can. If I click that, it says delete this gap. There. So now I have the train, and it goes into the tunnel and quickly comes out the other side. Now that you've seen the very basics of opening and using Clipchamp, I want to make a full little video. We went to London last year. I'm still going to keep this really small, just a couple of pictures and a couple of video clips. There, seven pieces, 2 little video clips and 5 photos. And I need to download these to my computer in order to have them accessible to Clipchamp. So I select the pictures and videos, I click the 3 dots and download. That's going to end up being a zip file. Choose the folder on your computer where you want to save it, and then we'll have to go unzip it. So here's the zip file downloaded from Google Photos. I will right click and extract all, and I want to put it in a folder called London. So here are my 7 pieces in a Clipchamp London folder. And for this project, I'm going to use the web-based Clipchamp, just so you can see that it's just the same. You still need to sign in with a Microsoft account. And the very first time you do this, you will be asked what sort of videos you want to make. I'm just going to choose personal. And notice that I am just at the app.clipchamp.com website. I just typed clipchamp.com to get here. Boy, that's a tongue twister. So I am on a Windows machine, but you could just as well do this on a Mac or even on a Chromebook, since it's all web-based. I'm going to create a new video. It will step you through a little bit of a tutorial if you want. I'm just going to exit, and I want to import media. Here are my choices. I downloaded those to my computer, so I browse files and find that folder. London, and there's 7 pieces. I'm just going to do a Control A to select them all and open. Now all those 7 pieces of media are loaded into my Clipchamp project. Now to build my story, I can find the first clip and click a plus. Notice that that was just a picture, that was an image, and it takes up 4 seconds. If you think that's too long, you can make it less. I think I will make it 2 seconds. And then I'm going to put this little video. And even that is a 30-second video, but I'm zoomed in on the timeline. I'm going to zoom out so I can see it all there. So there's the picture, there's the video. And although I really like this video of the train, I think just those first few seconds are good enough. So I grab the end of it and I drag all the way up to where I want it to stop. Now I can add the other pieces in the order I want them. This one and this one and this one and this one, and end with that one. So I now have a 52-second video with several pictures and a couple of video clips. If you should decide that you want pieces in a different order, you can just drag them on the timeline. So if I want this before that one, okay. Notice if I put it the other way around, it leaves a gap. No problem. Just click on the little trash can to delete the gap. Now let's take a look at what this looks like. I'll drag the playhead to the beginning and play. I need a transition in between these pictures, yes? So if you hover in between 2 pictures, you'll see a little plus and you can add a transition. To see the possible transition, click over on the left and you get a preview of what the transition looks like. I think I kind of like the circular wipe. Notice anyone that has a diamond on it is a premium. You have to get the paid version, and I am just using the free version here. So I'm going to click and drag that down to the plus. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, that's kind of cool, but I think I'll use a different one on the next. And I like just a cross blur. So I'm going to drag that in between the next 2 pictures and let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I like that. Now, all I have to do is click the plus and it will add that same transition each time I click the plus to add a transition. Now I need some music. Add audio. And it shows you the different audio that's available. I want to look at the music. I am using the free version, so I cannot choose one of these that has the diamond. And then you can play a little bit of it by clicking the play button. Nah, I like that one. Okay, so I'll click, let me get my playhead in place. And I'll click the plus, and that puts the music on the audio line. But look how far out this goes. I can just drag it back so that it is the same length. And then I'll want it to fade out. So click on that, click fade over here on the properties side, and fade out over 1 second. Now I want to add a title, that's text. I click over here on text and there's all sorts of different formats. How about this one? I click plus and then it's over at the right in the properties where you make the text be what you want it to say. And I can make that stay on the screen for a while. Now let's see what this looks like. Well, there's lots more tweaking that could be done, but I just wanted to give you a quick idea as to how to build a little movie using Clipchamp, and I like that. When you're done, you click export, and you have your choice in the free version of 480, 720, or 1080p. 1080p is pretty high quality. I will choose that. Yes, I don't want to save to OneDrive. I want to save to the computer, which is this button up here. Find the folder and give it a title and save. And that will be an MP4 video file on your computer to do with what you want. Clipchamp. Pretty cool, very easy, and improving all the time. They're building more and more AI into it. Try it. I think you'll like it.
Great addition to Windows, and it's comparable to some of the more expensive video editors. In some ways, it lacks a few things, but for the most part, that's all you need. And if you want to take any of the Premiere videos, there are 3 different videos, and chop them to individual, this program can be used, Clipchamp can be used to do that. All right.
And I didn't even mention all the AI features that it has.
Oh, wow.
It's changed so much since just a few months ago when I first looked at it. It's impressive.
Okay, so we'll be open to any questions here in our Q&A after the hour. So right now, we're going to look at another free program called LocalSend to transfer files on your network. Ron, go ahead and play that if you would.
LocalSend. I'm Hewie Poplock. There are many ways to copy a file from one drive to another. Mail it to yourself. Use Google Drive, OneDrive, and other cloud storage locations, or use an app like SimpleNote. LocalSend is cross-platform, working on Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Android, iOS, and Chrome OS devices. You can download LocalSend as an exe, ready to install, or as a zip file and run it as a portable app without installing. Once you run LocalSend, it assigns a name and a number to make it easier to identify. You can receive or send a file, folder, text, or paste an item. You can change the settings. There are even some advanced settings. There's a community of users for getting and giving help. And here's what the community looks like. And again, the community. Plus, there's help and information on Discord. Here's the install for an iPad. Here, I'm installing it on my iPad. I go to the Apple Store. Once installed, I have to give the system permission to find and connect to other devices on my network. It will then look for other devices running LocalSend on my network. If needed, I can tell the app to search for other devices by clicking the circular arrows. LocalSend found the Windows PC with the nickname ℎ𝕝𝕝. Here it found the second PC, my laptop, ℎ𝕙𝕝. You can only send to one device at a time, so you must make a choice. In my example, I'm going to use this file. It's 248 megabytes, and it is an MP4. So let's take a look at how all of this works. Here we have the LocalSend program, and to the right is the phone, and at the bottom is going to be the file that we're going to transfer. So we click on File. We're going to then choose the file that we want to send, which is right here. Tell it to send. We have to choose which device we want to send it to. We're going to send it to the phone, or the Samsung phone. Which is over on the right. When we choose it, it then pops up on the phone whether to accept or decline. We accept it, and it starts sending. When it finishes, we click Done, and we're going to find that file by going to Files. Can't find it on so many of the apps, so we just go ahead and do the search for it. We find it. We click on the file that we want. We tell it we want to download it with VLC. There it is. We turn it sideways so we can see more of it and see it more clearly. And as the movie is progressing, there's audio in the background that I cut out for this video, but you'll see that it's going on and continuing the video. Let's send it from our PC to the laptop this time. So we're going to send it. It's going to be a file that we're going to send. We're going to find the file. We're going to click on it, tell it to open it, and it's now there. Now we're going to choose where we're going to send it, which is to the Windows laptop. We're waiting for it to respond, either to accept or decline. It accepts. As soon as it accepts, it starts sending the file. When it's done, you click Done, and it is now on that computer. You can find LocalSend at these places. LocalSend, I'm Hewie Poplock.
Just a quick and easy way to move things from one computer to the other, or to your phone, to your iPad, and vice versa. Just very easy, but you have to be on the same network. So you're going to do that at home. You're not going to do it on the road. Okay, and next, the U.S. has finally come up with some guidelines on AI safety, and let's find out what that's all about.
What if the machines we create could think, learn, and even make decisions autonomously? As we step further into the age of artificial intelligence, this isn't just a hypothetical scenario, it's our reality. How this reality unfolds depends largely on the regulations we put in place now. Today, we delve into the chronological sequence of events that have led us to the current state of AI regulation. Picture this, October 30th, 2023. President Joe Biden signs an executive order to guide the development of artificial intelligence. This directive, focusing on safety, security, and consumer protections, aims to maximize AI's potential while containing its risks. It requires leading AI developers to share safety test results and introduces labeling for AI-generated content. Privacy, civil rights, and worker rights are addressed, and deadlines for implementation are set. Fast forward to February 7th, 2024. Elizabeth Kelly, a former economic policy advisor to President Biden, is appointed as the director of the U.S. Artificial Intelligence Safety Institute. This institute, established to create AI safety tests for regulators, aims to address the risks associated with AI advancements. It's a significant step forward in the global AI safety movement. Now let's move to March 21st, 2024. The United Nations General Assembly adopts its first global resolution on artificial intelligence. This resolution, sponsored by the United States and co-sponsored by 123 countries, aims to protect personal data, monitor AI for risks, and safeguard human rights. In the midst of these milestones, Vice President Kamala Harris announces 3 new binding requirements for federal agencies. These standards focus on protecting rights and safety, promoting transparency, and designating a chief AI officer for each agency. So what does all of this mean for us in the future of AI? It means we're entering an era of AI that is more regulated, more transparent, and more focused on safety and security. It's a future where AI developers share safety test results, where AI-generated content is labeled, and where privacy, civil rights, and worker rights are paramount. These regulations are not just about managing AI's risks, they're about maximizing its benefits. They're about ensuring that as AI advances, it does so in a way that is safe, secure, and beneficial for all. As we continue to navigate the rapidly evolving landscape of artificial intelligence, these regulations serve as a compass guiding us towards a future where AI is not just powerful, but also trustworthy and accountable. A future where AI doesn't just serve a few, but benefits many. A future where we harness the potential of AI while ensuring it respects our rights, our safety, and our humanity.
Yes, AI is being given laws by various regions and countries around the world, and this explains a little bit about what the U.S. is doing. Okay, at this point, we need to end our YouTube duplication of this meeting and go to our music section, but we do want to invite everyone who is on YouTube that there's plenty of room in the Zoom and come on and join us. Ron, did you turn the YouTube off? You just did. Okay, great. And so Ray, we'll turn it over to you for our music outro.
Thank you very much. Very nice presentation to you on AI. I like that. Learned a lot. Okay, today I'm going to talk about Duane Eddy and his twangy guitar. Now, I noticed that a subgenre during the early days of rock and roll were instrumental recordings. In other words, songs without someone singing lyrics. Duane Eddy is considered the most commercially successful instrumental artist in the history of rock and roll, and perhaps the best known thanks to his distinctive twangy guitar sound. Now, he was born April 26, 1938 in Corning, New York. Duane Eddy began playing the guitar at the age of 5. And when he was a teenager, his family moved to Tucson, Arizona, and then to an even smaller town called Coolidge, Arizona. Eddy's breakthrough came when he met singer-songwriter and record producer Lee Hazelwood. He's a giant in the Arizona music business. He produced and co-wrote a string of hits, including Rebel Rouser in 1958. Other follow-up instrumental song hits included Peter Gunn, Because They're Young, and 40 Miles of Bad Road. His music was characterized, as I said before, by a distinctive twang and became very popular at a time when all the teen idols were singing their hit songs. Eddy went top 40 15 times on Billboard's Hot 100 and sold more than 100 million records worldwide during his career. Duane Eddy's influence extended beyond his own era. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1994, the Musicians Hall of Fame and Museum in 2008. In fact, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame website quotes John Fogerty of CCR, Clearance Clearwater Revival, calling Eddy, quote, the first rock and roll guitar god, unquote. His guitar work left an indelible mark on rock music, inspiring countless musicians. Duane Eddy passed away on April 30th in Franklin, Tennessee, 4 days after turning 86. Today's video clip has him performing Rebel Rouser from 2011. I still have the 45 RPM of this song in my record collection from when it was first released. And what turned me onto this song, in addition to Eddy's guitar licks, was that wailing saxophone, sadly an instrument no longer prominent in today's popular music. Duane Eddy.
Thanks, Ray. Gosh, that brings back a lot of memories. Great song. Great pick. Thank you once
That's
again.
what I aim to do.
All right. This concludes the major part of our program. Don't forget, we got the Q&A coming up, so don't go away. But do want to remind you that the premiere video will be at the half hour. Again, talking about Tools to Write Your Life Story by Carol Baxter, Windows and Mac OS Bridging the Gap with Bill James, and No Privacy in the Electronics Repair Shop with Ron Brown. And with that, we'll open up the questions. And Carl, I see you have your hand raised.
Yeah, I wanted to thank Ray for that presentation. That young man, did he just die this year?
Duane Eddy died April 30th, a few days ago, last
Yeah,
week.
yeah. Well, he's a year older than me, so I can relate to the era. You know, he opened up that song with, it sounded like a mist twang on his guitar. Was that a signature thing of his, or is that really a flaw when he opened at the very beginning? Remember?
My understanding is that with the original guitar he had way back in 1958, there was a problem with it, and that artificially caused that twangy sound. And when that became a trademark for him, he actually then went and had guitars manufactured that provided that sound.
Okay, because they only did it on the verse opening, verse or so. It wasn't continuous. And the other thing, was he 65 when he did that video? Did he say? How old was he?
I'll have to look up and see. I think that video was about 11 years. I'll find out for you.
He did say he was 65.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's about 20 years old.
The video was in 2011.
Oh, well, 2011 wouldn't have been 65. He would only been, he would have been
13 years ago, 86.
Yeah, 13 years
73.
ago. Yeah.
Do the math.
Yeah.
Okay, Ron, you have your hand up.
Thank you.
My question is for Chris. Chris and I both use a product called Camtasia, and we've used it as in our video editing for a number of years. We both use it all the time, as does Hewie. I guess in looking at Clipchamp when you were going through it today, it looked like it was 𝕤𝕗𝕗𝕗 Lite. It looked exactly the same. I guess my question for you is, since you've looked at both of these now, what's your feeling? What do you think in a quick summary? Do you think Clipchamp looks pretty darn good, and it is a free product? What's your thoughts between the two?
Well, I've had the same thought that you did, but I'm just starting with Clipchamp, so I really don't know that much about it. It was sure easy because it works just like Camtasia.
Exactly.
And it had one thing that I like better, that little trash can to get rid of the gap.
Right.
The Camtasia doesn't make that as easy. But the best software is the one you know. And as you say, I've been using Camtasia for 20 years, so
Right.
that's my go-to.
Chris, what
But
is
I'll
the
play
paid, what does the paid version of Clipchamp cost? Do you know?
I don't know.
Good
It's
question.
100. Well, I can tell you that exactly. At least Canadian for a year, it's $130 Canadian for a year. Okay, so I would imagine it's 80
So
bucks.
it's like $5 then in
Yeah,
US.
it'd be about $80 a year, or it works out to a few pennies a month or something.
I just clicked the upgrade button and it says $12 a month or $120 a year.
Okay. Thank you.
There
Sharon,
you go.
you have your hand up.
Yeah, I'd like to thank a lot of people that spoke. Also, I have a question for Bob about the information you give us on security. I just got a letter again in the mail from AT&T talking about security breaches. And a lot of the companies that are offering a free year of credit monitoring are all using Experian. And Experian was the one that got hacked years ago, big time. So it's just sort of puzzling into my head. So I'm really not sure if I should really sign up for it because I don't trust Experian, I guess. That's one thing. Then the other question would be about photos for Chris. I'd like to do something with, I go to a lot of museums, and museums will show you an artwork, and then next to it, they will have the description. And I want to do a collage where I can have the photo of the artwork and the information all on one photo. And that's what I need to find out about doing some kind of a collage, because that's the purpose that I'd like to use it for. So those are my, and also I wanted to say to Bob, I'm going to watch the one about net neutrality because I want to hear your side of the story, because there's always so many sides to a story that the more knowledge I have, the better decision I can make for me. So that's it.
Sharon, there's a program, and I was just trying to look for it quickly, and I can't find it. There is a website that you can take two pictures and make them one side by side very easily, and I'll find that, and maybe I'll do a video for one of the upcoming programs. It's very easy to use, and it's free, and it'll take two pictures. So I do that quite a bit, where I'll take a picture of whatever it is, and then the picture of the description, and make one picture out of it.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do.
Yes,
Thank
very
you.
easy to do.
Yeah, Sharon, the other thing is, on our last Thursday show, the first part of the whole show was on net neutrality, and we played Bob's clip in that as well. I'll put the link in the chat for you, and if you want to just play that, it's got all that information in.
Or you go to my channel and watch the actual video.
Which I think I'll go to your channel just to watch it, to see how your presentation plays out, so to speak. So thank you.
Right. Also realize that when it comes to having check to see whether or not you appear on the dark web or not, you don't have much of a choice. The information is already there. Can you do it on your own? Yes, you can if you know how, but it's a pain in the neck. So if you're offered free credit monitoring, take it.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, Lloyd, you have your hand up next.
Well, I was going to answer her. I was just
hang
waiting
on
for Bob to answer his question from her.
Okay, sorry. Hang on one second, Lloyd. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, can you show this?
Yeah.
It's very easy to make collages with Google Photos. I mean, I think I have an example of just what you're talking about. We went to a museum.
I don't use Google Photos.
Oh.
So another software. Thank you.
Okay, never mind. Then whatever Ron said.
So don't ask Chris questions about other photo things.
Okay, Lloyd, go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to talk just a minute about Duane Eddy. As soon as I heard that he passed away, I remember a number of things about him. There were flashbacks, because I go back a long time too. Duane Eddy had that twang that you call it, or vibrato, whatever you want to call it. And his music was used as the background for a series called Peter Gunn. And I thought that that music behind the series Peter Gunn was just amazing. It just got you into the mood of that. It's like a detective story and so forth, but it just got you into the mood. It's just the type of music he had was just perfect for that series. That's my only comment.
Okay, thank you. Drew.
Okay. I watched all of the videos. I've played a little bit with that video editor. One of the limitations that they give you is the file types that you're allowed to save your files to. So you may not be able to pick for free the file type that you want the most. And for editing, I posted in the chat 2 open source video editors that are both multi-platform that work on Windows, Mac, and Linux. One of them is called Shotcut, and the other one is called OpenShot. They both have a lot of tutorial videos on YouTube so that you can learn how to use them on YouTube. They'll do a little bit more than the Clipchamp will give you for free. And then I tested out, Hewie, that LocalSend program, and I had to put in, thankfully, the IP address of my machines because it couldn't find them on the local network.
Well,
Anyway,
it does give you that. It does give you that ability, though, right?
Yeah, you can punch in the IP address if you know what it is, and then it did work.
Good. And that's probably on your Linux machines, right?
That was between my cell phone and my Chromebook.
Okay.
So both Android apps.
Okay, so there is a way around it if it doesn't see it.
Yeah.
Okay, Tom, you've got your hand up.
Yes, I'm assuming that with LocalSend, you have to have the app on each laptop or computer, whatever.
Yeah, but
Yes.
if you remember what I did say in there, that you can run it as a portable app, so you don't have to install it on your PC.
Okay, I was more concerned about the phone, but okay, thank you.
Okay, anyone else?
A question was raised, is Clips free? You can use it for free. There are limitations. You can only do 5 for free with a limit of 2 minutes. And after that, I think it's $6.99 a month if you want to use Clips without having the paid version of Zoom.
Oh.
But it's not extra. If you have a Zoom account, then it's free.
Yeah, if you're paying for Zoom, then Clips is free. You're already paying for it.
Okay,
if you don't have the paid version of Zoom, then you get to use 5 clips at 2 minutes each. And after that, if you want to continue to use it, you have to pay for it on a monthly basis. You don't have to upgrade Zoom, but you have to pay for the use of clips.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Ron, any final thoughts?
No.
Just don't forget about the premiere. Don't forget about Tech for Senior live on Thursday, either YouTube or Facebook. Do not go to Zoom. Do not go to this website for Zoom. We won't be there. And also Sunday, again, as a reminder, is the Windows SIG. If you're already signed up for it, you don't have to sign up for it again. It will be you'll get a reminder with your unique link. And on that note, I think that's it for the day. And we'll see everybody hopefully Thursday, if not on Monday. Hey.
Bye.